No conversation. Let's talk, think about it. Let's get it together. Together we can do it. Out of the box. Think out of the box. Out of the box. Out of the box. Out of the box, think out of the box, out of the box, out of the box.
What up, family? Welcome to the Out of the Box podcast. I am your host, J Got Soul. This is season 3, episode 8, titled Black Money Matters, Part 2. This show is sponsored by Urban Financial Literacy. Urban Financial Literacy specializes in building, protecting, and preserving your wealth. If you or your family need life insurance, retirement planning, credit repair, mortgage protection, or trust and estate planning, reach out to Urban Financial Literacy to book a consultation. Also, be sure to visit my new and improved website at jgotsoul.com to check out what we have to offer. Currently, we are running our rebranding sale while supplies last from our previous collection. All items are available for $30. Also, we have our Nova Sky dedication collection, which is available on our website as well. A percentage of the proceeds are allocated towards Nova's medical bills. And lastly, we also help with budgeting, practical budgeting. We do some coaching, some one-on-one coaching, and we also offer free 30-minute consultations. We believe that there are practical steps towards building wealth, and we want to help you on that journey. So engage with the brand, tap in, and be sure to book your free consultation. All right. A special thank you to those of you that are listening, and I would like to ask you all to share this broadcast so we can reach as many people as possible. But before we get on with the show, y'all know how we do it. Let's have a word of prayer. Dear God, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this space. Thank you for allowing our guests to get here safely, and myself as well. God, we just ask you to keep us covered, keep us protected, and just let this information that we're about to share with the folks to help them on their journey and to help them to rebuild their lives and get their financial life in order. And we just thank you again for the opportunity. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, y'all. So today in studio, we have Maximilian Barnes. He is the founder of the Next Generation Group. Max is he's licensed in 16 states and has a very great resource he's been a great resource to myself, my family, and the community at large. I'm so excited to have this money talk with him because this is my favorite topic. So Out of the Box family, help me welcome our guest, Maximilian Barnes.
Yes. What's going on, people? How y'all doing?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jessica, for having me. I'm excited for this.
Appreciate you, man. Hey, you got million in your name. How does that feel?
It's amazing. It's amazing. But when we get to the few millions, I'll definitely tell you what it's like then.
All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Max, let's talk about who are you? What would you describe yourself as? Who would you describe yourself to be?
Yeah, I would describe myself to be a life insurance and annuity specialist. I'm licensed, like you said, in multiple states to kind of help people navigate, and utilize those two things as tools. And I know today we'll have a good conversation, and I hope too that a lot of people get from this conversation where they can, learn a little bit, do some research, of course, but learn some new and creative ways of financing their dreams and goals.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. Okay. And where did you grow up? Like, where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, I'm actually from Inglewood, California.
Yes, sir.
For those of you who's out of state, You know, I love Inglewood. There's a lot of amazing changes going on right now. You know, with the Clipper Stadium being built, and you know, you got SoFi, which, you know, I'm a Broncos fan.
Okay.
You know, so we get to come down every single year to see the Chargers play. So I love to see my team play. So shout out to the Broncos. But yeah, no, I love Inglewood. It's been amazing. You know, over my lifetime, I hope to live here a lot longer as well. Also, invest in the city more is also. So I'm definitely excited to kind of just be where I'm from. You know, gotta rep it everywhere I go.
Yes, sir.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about how we met. Do you remember how we met?
You know, I don't exactly remember how we met. I know we met through, of course, Miss Wanda Honore, obviously with Urban Financial Literacy. I mean, she's doing a lot of amazing things, you know, in the city and connecting young professionals like ourselves,
Absolutely.
you know, together. But another thing, I want to throw another thing in there.
Okay.
Actually, you know, I grew up in the church where your family's church.
Yes.
So we kind of, you know, even before we
around.
technically met,
Right.
you know, we've been around each other for a little minute.
Yeah,
You know?
nah, for real. Miss Wanda, she's definitely been a great resource. And you know, she's part of the reason why this show is happening. So I definitely want to shout her out. I know she's listening. So hey, Miss Wanda, we definitely appreciate
Miss
you.
Wanda.
But for sure, like we went to Grant AME.
Yep.
You know, and it was kind of like in passing because I was there for a few years before I left for college. And so at that time, you know, I don't remember like actually meeting you then, but
Right.
we did meet recently, and we started doing, you know, workshops and you know, presentations and stuff like that, just kind of trying to educate the community. And so, you know, it's been green from there. Like, I definitely appreciate what you do and how you educate, you know, our people. And, you know, you've helped a lot of people I've been working with just kind of learn just the steps to become like more financially stable and understanding what it is to have life insurance, because that's very important.
Right.
You know, so yeah, it's been dope since I met you. Like you doing your thing, and
Awesome.
I
I
love
appreciate
seeing
you.
you doing that.
That's dope. I appreciate you.
For sure. So tell us a little bit about the life insurance that you are doing, and when did you get licensed, that type of thing.
Yeah. So I'm 28 now. I've been licensed to be 8 years in August, actually. So I'm really excited about that. Been able to establish a nice business, nice career for myself. But yeah, you know, I definitely got started when I was, I guess, technically 21. Or I was 20 going on 21, really, at that time. And you know, like most young people, you know, I don't think I saw myself in finances.
Right.
Certainly not life insurance, right?
Right.
I mean, you hear about that, and it has so many negative connotations that come with it.
For sure.
You know, and you know, with that being said, I kind of got introduced to the business through two of my mentors, which, you know, I hold very closely to my heart. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Alan Tracy Weathers for just kind of pouring themselves into me, and sharing that there was a new opportunity for me to go out there and achieve my dreams and goals that I wanted, but in maybe a different industry that I wouldn't have thought I would see success in, actually. You know, so I'm really blessed to have that.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, this is something I want to share with the audience. Like, life insurance is very, very important. Like, especially in our community, as we're talking about Black Money Matters. We see a lot of people out here, and they are getting GoFundMes, creating GoFundMes to, you know, take care of their family when something happens. And one of the things that's very important to note is that you can't leave anything behind when you do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, only thing you can do is just pay for the service, and that's it.
Yeah.
But what's the benefit of having life insurance?
That's a really good question. And it's really a loaded answer to that, honestly, because I know most people don't think about it like that. The first thing you think about with life insurance is death, right? That's naturally what most people think about it as. And that's kind of what I thought about it at first.
Yeah.
But once you kind of learn that there's several ways to use it. You know, many people like ourselves, growing up young, we want to invest in real estate, we want to start a business, we want to invest in stocks, we want to invest in different things, and we may not have the money to fund a lot of those things.
Right.
And so you can use life insurance to do that. You know, as long as it's designed correctly, because I always like to talk about how there's a pro and con to everything.
Right.
And you have to use it the correct way and be educated properly on how to actually do those things. But there's tons of things that can happen to you in life, whereas, I believe a person's greatest asset, when I'm sitting down with my clients, I always talk about this, but our greatest asset is ourselves. Right, we don't have our families. We can't support our families financially. We can't acquire property. We can't invest in things and make money and enjoy the money that we work so hard for without ourselves.
Right.
And so, the changes within life insurance, where it allows for you to use your life insurance while you're living to cover, even things like your expenses that you have due to medical illnesses.
Right.
You have cancers, heart attacks, and all those different things that take place. And a lot of people don't know that you can use your life insurance to cover the things that your health insurance may not cover. So that's even a benefit for itself, And everything I'm talking about right now is about living.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about dying.
Right.
But that there's a lot. That's why I feel like I have a big job on my hand, especially within our community as Black Americans, to learn these unorthodox type of financial instruments, to use them to achieve our goals and ultimately protect everything that we've worked so hard for. So absolutely.
That's very important. Black Money Matters Act Like It, my brand. The goal is for us to really start thinking about our money in a different way, and I like how you bring the life to life insurance. Because it's really interesting how there's death in life insurance. People are thinking of death first, but bringing the life to life insurance is very important for our community, so we can see the benefits. And when we see the benefits, then we act on those benefits, and that makes it more of an opportunity for us to really start building our net worth.
Right.
Because you hear me a lot in my presentations where I'm talking about our net worth over the generations. What has happened to our net worth, and our net worth has literally dropped 95% since the silent generation.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's that's almost 100%. We're not retaining anything within our family, and that's a problem, especially if we're talking about closing that wealth gap. Because the wealth gap is only going to continue to expand if we spend the way we do and do the same things over and over.
There's an article that I just sent to a client recently. I believe it was published by Forbes, and it said by 2053 the average net worth for our people is going to be zero.
Yes.
That speaks to your point.
Yes, and what I think about when I read that, because I saw that same article.
Okay,
that was
good.
I used to actually talk about that a lot. And it's first of all, what I think about when I see that is who projected that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It couldn't have been us, because we wouldn't say that about ourselves. I wouldn't say that, okay, by 2053 I'm gonna have $0. So you have to realize that there's an entity behind that. And then on the other side of that, what are we gonna do about that?
That's the real question, huh?
Yeah, it's what are we gonna do about that? How are we gonna find those solutions to get us to making that not our reality?
Right.
Because that needs to be the goal.
Absolutely.
That shouldn't even be a conversation. But because there is entities that know how to drain our community, and then we only know what they provide to us, because a lot of our spending comes from ads, things that they put out, and they grab our attention. So, I gotta have that. It's do you really? Because So
that's a good point that you make, actually. And then I was talking with some folks, and we were talking about how marketing wise we're groomed subconsciously to be more of the spending mentality versus the investor mentality.
Right.
And that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
We don't really realize that we naturally want to spend money.
Right.
And there's an emotional attachment to spending money.
Right.
And there's a certain type of confidence. There's a certain type of wanting to feel needed when we go out and spend money. It sounds probably crazy or silly, but we was that dopamine, right? We get that feeling when we go get a new car. Right, we can't wait to show it off to our friends. Right. We buy the newest shoes or whatever the case may be. We can't wait to show what we've purchased. Right. And there's a lot to say about that. Yeah. And we gotta, like you said, get rid of that mentality.
Absolutely. Let's take our first break, y'all. Yeah. We have a great show. We have a great conversation coming up for y'all. But right now we're gonna take our first break. The first song is titled "I Need My Money" and it's by Charlie Burrell. Y'all stay tuned. 3, episode 8. Today we are in studio with Maximilian Barnes of the Next Generation Group. All right, so we're having a conversation about Black Money Matters. This is part 2. And we were just having a conversation about how, there's a lot of money in keeping us from actually understanding how to build wealth and how to build our net worth. And so, Max is here and we're talking about life insurance. That's one of the easiest ways that you can protect yourself, and you can start to grow your net worth within your family, because that's one of the things that we have to focus on is our family net worth, So, Max, what made you decide to get into life insurance?
Yeah, well, that's a really good question. I had definitely, it's so crazy looking at my life the way it is now. Because if you ask me maybe 10 years, even 10 years ago, right? I know I've been in the business, 8 years, right? Or going on 8 years in August. And even 10 years ago, if you ask me if this would be my life today, I would tell you absolutely not. And so for me, it was not as much about how I got into it, but more so why. Of course, the how is I got exposed to it through some people who are very close to me, my mentors, like I talked about earlier. And, they helped me learn the business, helped me get set up and get licensing and all that kind of stuff. And they poured 15 years of experience into me, which was amazing. Especially not seeing a lot of people that look like us in the industry. And definitely, to add another degree to it, not seeing a lot of younger Black Americans involved in the industry as well, especially successful ones on top of that. But the reason why, more importantly, is because, at that time, as in my early 20s, I was looking for an outlet to, achieve a certain level of a quality of lifestyle that I just did not see myself achieving the route that I was going. And so I obviously I wanted some extraordinary results, so I had to do something a little bit different, you know what I mean? And so, that's more so the reason why I got into it. I seen, my grandfather, who was a huge influence and breadwinner for my family, be diagnosed with cancer, and financially that took a toll on the entire family, in so many different ways. It took a toll on him, took a toll on my grandmother as well, and I saw just the physical changes, not even just about paying bills, but just what it does to a person. And I'm young, I'm 15, 16, seeing this happen. I was living with my grandparents at that time, and I saw the toll that it was taking. And so I said, okay, there has to be more to life than this. There has to be another way, to achieve what I wanted to achieve. And once they kind of gave me the vessel, if you will, and put me on track, I had to just run with it, because I actually seen, the things I want to accomplish, that I could get out of this business, which is crazy, because you talk about life insurance, somebody's going to run away from you. Or you talk about life insurance, like a young person is not going to look at it the same way they look at it as being an athlete. But what we don't realize is that there's the same amount of money in it. That's the difference that we have to get exposed to. And hopefully today, from, the viewers, people watching us, hopefully our age, even younger than us, I'm a big advocate for the business. I want them to think about it and to get exposed to it. Reach out to you, reach out to us and find out more information about this kind of stuff. So, I'm really excited about that. And but that's more so how I got started and why I got started in such an industry that you don't see a lot of us involved in.
Hey, I am one of those athletes that didn't see the value to start with, and like we were having a conversation before the show, I'm like, I'm actually thinking about it a lot more, because I've seen, I've had an experience, my niece, with her. First of all, she's one, so it's not really much time. If you're sick, we already have these ideas where you're sick, you can't get insurance and all this kind of stuff. Right. So we didn't have anything. Right. So we had to do the whole GoFundMe thing, you know, which is a part of the issue in our community, because we're getting this money, but we spend it right away. Right. You know, and now I'm in this space of like, we need to have a family network. Yeah. And every person in the family need a network. Mm-hmm. You know, and so one of the ways, you know, and it's not a quick come up, it's about learning about money.
You gotta say that again.
Yeah, it's not a quick come up.
Not a quick come up at all.
It's about learning about money and learning about what it could do for you and your family, you know. And now I'm in this space where I'm like, we having family meetings. We sitting down talking about, okay, how are we gonna get ourselves together? Where are we gonna put the trust? What name is gonna be in? Like that conversation.
Yeah.
We never had a conversation.
That Rothschild talk.
That Rothschild.
If you know, you know.
Yes, that Rothschild
Yeah,
talk.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
you know. And so now, and that happened since we had, you know, our first two events, the Black Money Matters Forum, the first and the second one, and my family started to see because they came.
Yeah, they came
to
and
the
supported
event.
you. Yeah, absolutely. It
And
was
they
great.
seen the value in it. And so now it's easier to tell them, like, hey, we got to actually do this. Like, it's not just about having a conversation. We need to start taking the steps, and everybody needs to be responsible financially, especially if you got a bunch of adults in the household.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just something that we just really need to get into, man.
100%.
So how did you know, like, how did you know this is like something that's like, okay, I'm gonna actually pursue this? Like,
Yeah.
you were 21.
Yeah.
That's young.
Yeah.
You know, how did
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, of course there's a trial period where, you know, I'm thinking in my head, is this really going to work? Is this really going to be for me? And, you know, me coming into the business, it wasn't easy at all. I took a lot of flack for it, for sure. And certainly from people closest to me, people I love, people I trusted, people I looked up to. You know, I'll probably say 98% of those people were not supportive of me going into the industry because of whatever, you know, perspective that they had of the industry, of the business. You know, most people are engineered mentally to think, just go to school,
Right.
get the best job you can, and, you know, you buy a house and get married, and that's fine. I'm not knocking that at all, but I think I see my life going in a different direction that has a little bit more flexibility within it. So that's what I was more so seeking within that. And I want to share a little story. You know, I'm not going to share her personal information, but, you know, this was a moment in the industry. This was a moment in the business for me where I realized this is something I need to take serious, and this is something that is truly impactful to people. I have a really close family member, my godmom. I won't say her name, but my godmom, I love her so much. She's been there for me my whole life. Bought me lots of Jordans growing up, which I was very happy about. You know, and so she had a big job working for the IRS and you know, doing her thing. Very successful lady, very successful career. Just a great, amazing individual. And you know, she trusted me enough to become one of my earlier on clients when I first got into the business. And you know, a year and so later, she was diagnosed with a major illness that, you know, she took a big hit on that. And, you know, we were able to get her a nice payout from her life insurance policy, which is called a living benefit. That covered a critical illness for her. And, you know, she was able to receive, I say, more money than what she put into it in just, you know, a year or so time frame. And, you know, she was able to support herself and her family financially while focused on getting healthier. And in that moment for me, seeing her go through what she went through and knowing I had a hand in making it just a tad bit easier on her, that's really the moment that I said, okay, and I want to say this is maybe 3 years into the business. You know, it became bigger for me than just making a lot of money at that moment. You know, when I seen her go through what she went through, and I had a little hand, you know, in playing, making her life a little bit easier, you know, she would say at that time. And that's when I realized, okay, this is bigger than selling financial products, making a lot of good money, which obviously we get paid very, you know, well for what we do, and all that was great. But I mean, I was just like, wow, that's the moment, the defining moment that, okay, I'm actually moving with purpose at this point. And for me, that was that key moment. You know, sometimes we don't really know a blessing in front of us until it's kind of taken away from us a little bit, or it slaps us across the face. You know, where we got to wake up and understand that there's more to it than just the money.
She's still living.
Absolutely. She's retired now as well. Shout out to
beautiful.
my godmom. She just retired recently, you know, and she has, her stuff in place, and she's able to access money when she wants to. So she's a great case study for me. She's a great successful story for me, and she refers me tons of business, because obviously not only does she believe in it, she's went through it. It worked for her. So to have that, it's just been amazing. So I love you, God Mommy.
That's beautiful. First of all, that's value. You get to see the value of what this industry can do for you. And the thing about insurance, and I think the thing that had me a little bit skeptical, is because you got good apples, you got bad apples. You got people who don't really educate, but they sell you on a product, and then you get the product. And the thing about when you get the product, you waste money, because if it's not the right product for you, now you just spent money for something that doesn't, make sense. And so, but hearing a story like that brings the value back, and it kind of says that you are doing it the right way. It shows what you're doing and how you are moving in purpose, because it's not just about money.
Absolutely.
And when you have a story that connects to your own life, your own people, like when it hits home, that's different. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, it's like my niece, like I wish we could have did more, but knowing that she did have the situation she had, now it's like, okay, we have an opportunity to make that right.
Absolutely.
So this is the story that helps us move forward. So man, that's a beautiful story. But we're gonna take a break on that. We're gonna take our second break, y'all. So this next song is titled "No Distractions" by Mike Cole. Y'all stay tuned.
Eyes on a miss, take my time, can't right my wrongs with a kiss, can't get froze, don't need no ice on my wrist, watch for the snakes, talk they talk with a hiss, black mamba, I can't miss, eyes on a miss, big man talk, life on switch, vibes on lit, I'm on rich, cause I exist, these distractions got my heart on red, wake up, I fall in my phone. God called my name, I said, yo. She hit my line, she says hi. Can't put no lies on my soul. I don't wanna fade away, but you cannot sit on my throne. This might be my only shot left, and if I gotta go, I gotta go. On my soul, have my armor on since I'm on the road. Who really down the roll? I'm on road. Distractions ain't take a toll. Wait, nigga die. I came back, hit and slide. Dealing with a high one, get inspired. Work on the sound, get it right, gotta get it tight. You tryna play me, you so like JD. Don't sell out, just pay me. Keeping it wavy, gotta buzz up like Jay-Z. Eyes on the mesh, take my time, can't right my wrongs with a kiss. Can't get froze, don't need no ice on my wrist. Watch for the snakes, talk they talk with a hiss. Black mamba, I can't miss. Eyes in the bitch. Big man talk, life on switch. Vibes on lit, I'm on rich, cause I exist. These distractions got my heart on red. Young Lord with the big talk. Had to slide on the slick talk. Give the fam legs, make the house move. Crib walk, make them tick-tock. Can't keep the Phoenix in bird box. I got phones to serve rock, just to survive. Killed all my beats, slide in the kitchen with first socks. Velcro, ghost on my shell toes. I'm in my bag like white girls on Melrose. Switching to cell phones. Breaking the pattern, thirsty and scattered. Bit on the ladder, now I'm on Saturn. Off of the chatter, dreams getting fatter. Looking so better away. Melody out the mud, I got me a Roddy Rich. EST in 89, but I play the game like Jordan in the 96. There's a little gold inside of us, I got the horns for it. Nigga about to blow, listen, got the horns for it. I done walked 1,000 miles, I got the souls for it. Tangier, I'm a demon slayer. Adios, I see you later. PTH, you might see the Vader. I got some friends, I need some haters. Jesus even needed Judas. It's the only way that we can beat the hate. Like, this might be my only shot left, and if I gotta go, I gotta top down and I'm riding with the cops round. Shot down while my brother's getting popped down. Sasuke, the village put a killer in my ways. Not today, eyes on the mesh. I'm tryna build somebody. I'm tryna be the fight, cause I can't lose nobody else.
You are tuned into the Out of the Box Podcast, Season 3, Episode 8. If you're just joining us, we are in studio with Maximilian Barnes. All right, so Max, can you tell the folks, what is your mission behind your work?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a perfect question, going into or playing off of what we just talked about. So my mission in the beginning, let's talk about that. My mission in the beginning was just to make a lot of money, and take care of my family, become independent financially of my parents. Right? That's the main thing, right? But, now the mission is more so to change the face of the industry.
Okay.
That's the biggest mission that I have, and allow for us to not only change the face of the industry, but have ownership within the industry. Own banks, own insurance companies, and so that right there is what my life work, I believe, for the rest of my life is all about. Because there's a reason why God, put me in the position to come into this particular industry. Right. There's so many other directions I wanted to go in, but I think at this point in time, learning what I've learned up until this point is definitely to impact people on that level and have that ownership within that level there. So we're gonna change the face of what insurance finance looks like.
I like that. I like that, and it reminds me of like why I created Black Money Matters Act Like It, because I say it's more than a brand, it's a movement. Right. Because it's not just about Black Money Matters. It's about, getting our community on one accord,
right.
Allowing us to start circulating within our community, right. And seeing a value within our community. The same value that we see in, those big names that we know that started from the bottom. Yeah. Everybody starts from the ground up, but it's really about getting us to see that we are valuable. And so we should value what we have coming in our pockets, what's going out our pockets, and who we put that money into. Because where you put your money is where you put a vote. Yeah. It's also political. Yep. There's a lot of money that goes behind putting certain people in office. There's a lot of money that goes behind creating these laws and policies. There's a lot of money that goes into that, and we're not putting nothing in that, but we're putting a lot of money into, consumerism. Right. And that depletes our network. It becomes a leak. So I think that we were divinely connected.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Can I add one thing to what you said?
Absolutely.
You said this word a few times, and I really want the people that's listening and paying attention to really hone in on this word, net worth, and understand what that really means. Because I know that's a word that is said a lot in environments and in the community, but we don't really know what that means. Right. And so everybody listening, take this. Look at all of the assets that you have and minus that from your liabilities, and that is what your net worth is. And look at that number, whether it's negative, positive, more than what you expected, whatever the number is, and ask yourself if you're happy with what your net worth is. And then ask yourself, well, what are you going to do to change that and to achieve the goal? Because that's the conversation we have to have, is the net worth. Right. Kind of back to the Black Wall Street. We had an amazing net worth.
Yeah. And yes.
And we have still to this day an amazing purchasing power.
Right.
But not an amazing net worth.
Right.
And that's what we have to take, because it starts there with the purchasing power.
Yeah.
We have that dollar.
Yeah.
For us, our people specifically.
For sure.
Black Americans, we have a great dollar, but we just need, like you said, we need to spend it and invest it into the right places so that we can create a much bigger net worth.
For sure. Yeah. And I want to add to that too, because I like to break things down. So we talked about net worth. Now, what is an asset and what is a liability? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
you want me to answer that? Perfect. Because you know a lot too. You know what I'm saying? You know a whole lot. That's great. I love that. So an asset is anything that puts money positively into your pocket. Right. And a liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. And we all have assets and liabilities, and we all need assets and liabilities. Absolutely. For example, I had to drive here. Yeah. I needed a car to transport over here. And so, yes, my car takes money out of my pocket every single month. Right? And so that's a huge liability, right? Yeah. And so when you look at assets, anything that puts money in your pocket, a boat, a yacht can be someone's biggest liability, but it also can be someone's biggest asset.
Right.
Depends on what side of the coin you're on.
How you use it.
How you use it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So y'all take those nuggets, and I hope y'all took some notes. If not, y'all could listen to the playback and get this, because this is something that we really need to hone in on as a community, you know, in general, because we just gotta close that gap. We gotta close that gap. All right, so let's talk about the adversity. What kind of adversity have you had to face on your journey?
Too much.
It's always something.
Yeah, too much. But I would say, just to name just one little thing, is you know, credibility. That's the biggest obstacle I had for me, because you got to imagine, you know, my clients are, you know, 50 years old, 55, 60, 65, 70 years old, and they got this baby face, 21-year-old, 22-year-old young boy, really, sitting in front of them, trying to talk to them about how to protect their assets.
Right.
And so that was a little hard for them to get around that concept for a while, you know. And so I had to really show myself, show my skills, show how serious I was about what I do for a living, because this is extremely serious to me. You know, in the beginning, I had to earn my mom's trust. She's a big supporter of me in the business. Shout out to Mom. I know you're listening. I love you. And, you know, I had to earn her trust, you know, and she noticed a lot of things changing. You know, the way I was dressing changed a little bit. You know, I had to put some suits on. Of course.
Dapper, too.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Also had to start reading and educating myself more and being a student of the game. That's the most important thing, you know. And so unfortunately, though, I do have to say this aspect of the credibility is that, you know, I did encounter a lot of issues with people that look like us, you know, not trusting us because of whatever their past experiences are, and maybe thinking I'm trying to get something from them and whatnot, you know. And so I had to, that was a big obstacle dealing with our people. You know, I hate to have to say that people that don't look like us received me better than the people that look like me, but I understand it though now. You know, I've matured a lot. I took it personal in the beginning, but I understand it now. You know, those people were just scared at the end of the day. They just wasn't sure. So when I came to talk to them about stuff, I'm already younger than them. You know, and, you know, we were already taught not to trust our own people, number two. And then number three, they're scared of this information. You know, the money word, finances, the F word, I should say, finances, is a very scary topic for a lot of people. So I kind of understand, you know, at this point.
No, that's real, and I actually encounter that a lot now. You know, and so you saying that actually gives me a little bit of comfort.
Nice.
You know, because I do understand that, you know, for so long we've been misguided, misdirected. We've just, a lot of things have happened to us, and it put us in this position. So it's kind of hard to trust who is telling us the right thing. You know,
that's a tough one.
Yeah, but it's you know, it's an uphill battle sometimes, but at the same time, if it's worth it to you, you're gonna get through it. And seeing how you were able to get through it, that gives me hope. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because it's a dog eat dog world out here.
100%.
You know, and so some people just want to check, you know, and other people want to do it for purpose.
100%.
And when you're doing it for the right reasons, then that's what makes, you know, that's what makes it worth it.
Absolutely.
You know, so just hearing that success story, though, I want to go back to that, because that is where we need to understand, like, it can really work for us.
It can.
It can really work for us.
It can.
So, what's the most important lesson you've learned in your business journey?
That's a loaded question. I know it sounds like a simple question, but for me it's very loaded, because over the last 8 years, life has been, you know, up and down, side to side, left and right, you know, and
Not
it's
to
been
mention COVID.
Like, we skipped over that. You know, that's changed the world that we live in today. I mean, you imagine our generation. We've seen so many changes. You know, we've seen, you know, stock market crashes. We've seen recessions. We've seen the internet become a thing, because I don't think people really realize the millennial generation, we're like the last generation that actually played outside. You know, social media didn't consume us as much as the generation now. They only know the internet. Right? And so, you know, they giving babies iPads.
Yeah.
Right. So we were still running around playing Nerf guns and stuff outside. You know what I mean? And playing dodgeball and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we have seen a lot of changes in our environment, you know, and so that is awesome as well, to kind of be able to adapt and to, you know, realize that, okay, we've seen a lot of changes, we've seen a lot of things that took place, you know, and so you know, now we can take that money, or I'm sorry, take that what was going on in life and kind of adjust and go with the flow on that. So, you know, yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it is for sure.
So that the lesson was that, I'm sorry.
Being able to adapt. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, you're good.
No, let me
You're good.
clarify that. Being able to adapt is one of the most important lessons in business in general.
Yes.
You know, because life is going to throw a lot of ups and downs at you, for sure. And I guess I'll throw another one in the mix, because I talked about throwing, you know, going through ups and downs, is not quitting on yourself. That one is the biggest one. I see people every day quit, literally. And, you know, not even just in my business, but just in their business.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they started a business, or maybe they wanted to start something, and, you know, things get too hard for them and they stop doing it. And I know for a fact I wouldn't be in the position that I am today had I given up those million times I wanted to give up.
Right.
So being able to adapt, number one, is a good principle to live by. Principle number two, don't quit on yourself, you know, because you're not going to quit on your mentor. You're not going to quit on your boss. You're not going to quit on your job. You're not going to quit on whatever. You're quitting on yourself, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. And I want people to know that, because we're in a time where being an entrepreneur is almost like a hot topic now. It's like, it's sexy to call yourself an entrepreneur with no real hustle, with no real business going on, but we love to call ourselves entrepreneurs. And so I do want to point out that, you know, with becoming an entrepreneur, you're gonna have damn near more struggles, more failures than successes. Now the successes will outweigh the struggles or the failures, but I want to be the first person to tell you, if nobody else told you, you're gonna fail a lot. So you better get ready to fail a lot. Like a lot.
To the choir, bro.
Like a lot.
No, for real.
You know what I mean?
For real. And it's like you said, like, you can't give up, because there is a goal. You know what I'm saying? There is a goal that you want to reach. And the pandemic created a lot of businesses, but it also shut a lot of businesses down. Because those businesses weren't doing the things that they probably should have been doing, as far as like getting their business structure in order, but also because business ain't for everybody. You know,
it's not.
And so if you really want to do this, you gotta, like you said, you gotta know there's gonna be a lot of failures, and some days you're gonna wake up thinking, I'm not doing something that I need to be doing, or I'm failing at everything today. And it might not be true, but you feel that way because there's a lot of responsibility on your back. You move the business. When you work for somebody else moves the business. You just have one role in it. You know, so just knowing that, you know, there are young folks out here, and we are really trying to, you know, keep our businesses afloat, but we understand that these things are trial and error. You know, everything doesn't come with a playbook.
Right. Absolutely.
Like, so you got to create the playbook.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's very important.
And then just to add one last thing to that before we move on, is the what ifs of life. That's a big reason why the pandemic caught a lot of people off guard, because a lot of people got comfortable. They thought their situation was safeguarded, and it wasn't. And we seen something that we would have never guessed took place, and that took out a lot of people, unfortunately.
For sure. So you always got to stay ready and stay prepared.
Got to stay protected. Got to always be looking to what bad can go wrong.
Right.
And that's a big part of our industry is to asset protect yourself.
True.
You know, it all kind of goes back, you know, to the same thing. So, I just want to add that.
All right, you guys. So we're going to take our final break. This next song is titled Blessed by La Speaks featuring Mikey. So we'll be right back.
Turn me up. Look, it's Mikey. bag like a full court press. I'm so hopeful when I'm sad, when I remember that I'm blessed. I got a whole lot of pain, I'm trying to get up off my chest. Life can make me anxious, I pray God relieve my stress. Life is too short, so I'm trying to make a killing, yeah. Cause it's kids and young adults that's out here trying to kill themselves. So I gotta get up even when I am not feeling well. I gotta bring hope even when I don't believe in myself. I'm finna snap till nothing's left. Look, I'm just trying to make shit that I add value to niggas. I've been going through it, finna crystal on these niggas. Pain, pressure, boys, finna pull up on these niggas. Ain't playing with you boys, wrong woman on these niggas, huh? And your feelings, huh? Yeah, me too, I'm trying to get out like that movie, though. I'm trying to dance like David through this depression, no. Steady stressing wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question, no. Steady stressing wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question, no. Steady stressing wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question, no. Yeah, steady stressing wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question. Steady stressing wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question, no.
I just wanna make shit that inspire my niggas. Though I'm going through shit, I can fly on these niggas. Steady shining like the sapphire, the niggas I'm righteous, too divine. I'm too fine to waste time, waste mine on niggas. Yeah, leaving all that trauma in the past. I'm only pushing peace, give me that, I'm hitting gas. Misuse my energy, promise that'll be your last. Nothing promised today. Won't catch me keeping company, lacking in faith, keeping my sanity straight. And when the devil tried, put the enemy back in his place, anointing on my body with a prayer tucked in the safe. Take that to the bank, but please keep your deposit, it's lacking in change. Can't mess with nobody that's stuck in their way. Same finna stress me wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question, no. Yeah, ain't finna stress me wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question, no, yeah. Ain't finna stress me wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question, no, yeah. Ain't finna stress me wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question. Ain't finna stress me wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question, no, yeah.
We gon' pray every time it's something away. Releasing all my fear through my faith. God got me so you know I'll be okay.
We gon' pray every time it's something away. Releasing all my fears through my faith. I know that God got me so I know I'll be okay.
You are tuned into the Out of the Box podcast, season 3, episode 8. If you're just joining us, we are in studio with Maximilian Barnes. All right, Max, so what advice would you give to someone who is seeking to start their journey as a life insurance specialist?
Nice. So one thing I would want a person to know coming into the industry as well is, I know we've been talking about life insurance as well a lot today, and hopefully you could bring me back and we could talk about some other financial stuff as well. But, there's also other amazing wealth building tools like annuities that, your license will allow for you to be able to help people with and help them understand, those wealth building tools as well. But the biggest advice I would give is to not try to be too smart.
Ooh,
that's like
I like that.
Yeah, not try to be too smart. For me, I was trying to know everything and learn everything before I actually got my feet wet or got my foot wet into the business. I was trying to be this amazing, advisor and intelligent guy and talk, what my mentor likes to say, the King's English, and all of that. And, people want to be able to relate with you, especially on a topic that they're not familiar with, a topic that they're not, comfortable always with talking about. But yeah, don't be too smart. Find a mentor. That was I'll say that's the biggest part of my life is I have 2 special mentors that, I could call them whenever, but they're going to give it to me straight, and there's many times I don't like having conversations with them because they're telling me the reality of what's going on. But every single time, 10 out of 10 times, I succeed after I follow their direction. And whatnot. So that would be my biggest advice. Find you a mentor that's gonna coach you in a real way, not be a yes person, but that's gonna coach you in a real way. And also don't try to be too smart. And be a sponge, a student of the game, and learn to follow before you lead.
No, that's real. Shout out to mentors, because mentorship is very important. Shout out to my mentor, Crystal Mitchell. She is an amazing woman. She's into the finance business, but she's more like the CPA.
Oh, awesome. I love it.
The bookkeeping side of things. when you're in business, like, you gotta know your numbers. And that's something that, you know, when I started, I didn't understand, and now I'm like slowly getting into the point where I'm like, okay, now I can read, like, okay, is we profitable, we not making a profit.
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of people get into the business and they just want to hustle, and once they make the money, they go spend it. It's like, no, you gotta reinvest.
Yeah.
You know, your business gotta keep going, and you should not be spending the money that you make. You should be reinvesting too. You start making assets, building assets, and those assets should buy.
That's great
luxury.
advice.
You know, and I got that from Robert Kiyosaki, reading
Yeah.
his books, because we're spending our hard-earned money, you know, and he says that we're spending our inheritance on luxury. And it's like, when you think about that, it's like, hold up. So I don't have a net worth because all that's going to luxury, and those luxuries are liabilities.
Yeah.
You know, because if they're not making you money, then what are we doing?
That's not real luxury.
Yeah, so shout out to mentors for just, you know, like, really guiding us, because us as a younger generation, like, a lot of us don't have that business sense, and we didn't get exposed to, you know, those things. So when somebody comes in and say, hey, I'm willing to guide you, you know, and they're willing to give you the game, whether it's hard reality, because sometimes those are hard to take.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
but it's real. They make a huge impact. So
That's when you know a person cares about you.
for sure. So how can people get in contact with you? We're gonna wrap up in a little bit, but how would someone contact you to, you know, book a consultation, or, you know, just how would
Yeah,
they-
absolutely. Well, first and foremost, y'all definitely can get me through Jay. For sure, Jay Got Soul, of course. Urban Financial Literacy, of course. But my Instagram page, I do want to give that out at The Next Generation Group. THE, Next Generation Group. All one word on Instagram. There's a lot of great, amazing resources, you know, on that platform there. We do a lot of seminars. We do a lot of webinars. A lot of giving of free information. And so if you guys do want to learn more about, you know, some money stuff, learn more about how to build wealth, how to become your own bank, how to properly protect your assets, you know, using the tools of things like life insurance, annuities, or if you also just want to learn more about, you know, how you can branch into the industry itself. You know, you want to know what licenses you need to have and certifications and all that kind of stuff. You know, definitely shoot us a text, a DM at The Next Generation Group on Instagram.
Yeah, I really appreciate Urban Financial Literacy and the Next Generation Group for how you guys provide the information. Like you said, it's free. Do you have any, like, webinars coming up? Because I know you just did one last week about real estate and how to become your own bank. Do you have any that you know of coming up soon?
Yeah, we actually are working on putting together another form very soon that I'm going to blast out as well on the Instagram page. So make sure you guys follow for updates. We just came off of an amazing event talking about how to utilize different types of life insurance plans out there, because there's several types out there to invest in real estate. And we had an amazing Trevon Smith, an amazing real estate investor, an amazing real estate agent as well, who navigates people. So it was a great event. I mean, we're giving a lot of multi-million-dollar knowledge. You know, we should really charge for this, but yeah, absolutely. You guys will get the update.
Yeah, definitely tap in with that, because if it's free, you should take it. A lot of people will be like, oh, if it's free, there's no value. No, there's value in free information. Take that information, you know, and I'll definitely link you to Max if you need some, you know, some help too. So tap in with me as well.
We're all connected.
Yes. All right, y'all. So we're going to wrap up the show. Y'all be sure to check out the Out of the Box podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Audible, Stitcher, Spotify, or Pandora. So be sure to subscribe for updates and new episodes. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel and engage with the live broadcast. This has been season 3, episode 8. Thank you to those who tuned in live. We definitely appreciate you.
Absolutely.
We hope you enjoyed yourselves, because we definitely did. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Absolutely. I want to say one more thing too.
right.
Huge shout out to you for your platform. You know, we got to give you your flowers, Jessica, for doing what you do, and taking your resources that you've learned, everything you're learning and developing. Like you said, we've worked together even on a personal financial end, and for you to take that and give the knowledge out to the people and give us, people like myself, a platform to talk about what we do. That's it. Nobody can say it's out here,
Right.
because you're providing it. So thank you for that.
Definitely appreciate that. Y'all, so, all right, tap in with Urban Financial Literacy. Be sure to tap in with them if you have any questions and you want to book your consultation. Also, check out jgotsoul.com. Check out all of our merch. Check out our content. And also, check out our services, you guys. But until next time, we will be back in studio on July the 1st. You never know who we're going to have in the studio next. So, y'all be sure to stay tuned. We are out.
Howdy.